Welcome to the Million Dollar Blueprint with Karen Pudetti, where we can talk about the honest truth about either starting a business or growing your business to the $1 million mark. I will give you a roadmap that provides you with the ideal client or buyer, financial wisdom, marketing, branding, leadership, and so much more. Thank you for joining the Million Dollar Blueprint. I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Million Dollar Blueprint with Karen Pudetti. Today, we are going to be talking about money blocks and how your relationship with money influences your business. I don't know if you've ever heard people talk about the relationship with money. And if you have a great relationship, you generally have great results in your personal life and in business. If you have negative thoughts or negative connotations regarding money, you probably will see that in your, again, personal life and in your business. So today I want to talk about it a little bit. And a person's relationship with money is shaped by several various factors, including childhood experiences, cultural influences, and personal belief. It is a complex interplay of emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that influence how individuals acquire, spend, and manage their money. A healthy relationship with money is characterized by a financial literacy, informed decision-making, and a sense of security and control over one's finances. Now, and really, everybody is different. Factors that influence your relationship with money, there are several. For instance, one, your childhood experiences. As you were growing up, you're witnessing your family's discussions about money or experiencing their financial hardships, or maybe it was plentiful, can significantly impact a person's belief and behaviors relating to money. Another one that we had mentioned was cultural and social influences. There are cultural norms and society expectations that can help shape an individual's perception and how they relate it to money. And that's another huge influence. Again, some beliefs and values, a person who values and believes about money, such as whether it's seen as a source of security, freedom, or a status symbol, can influence their financial decisions. And then there's also the financial literacy and knowledge. A lack of financial literacy can contribute to poor financial habits and an unhealthy relationship with money. Now, I'm the oldest of three sisters, so I have two younger sisters. We all grew up in the same household. We all grew up with the same cultural and social influences. But even us three individually have different money beliefs. I was told at a very young age by my father, you can have anything you want in life long as you work for it. Okay, you've probably heard me say that before. So I thought, okay, I'm going to work my ass off so I can have a lot of money. And I did. And it took me again later in life to realize, okay, I need to learn how to work smarter, not harder. But I was a saver at first. I saved, even when I had my first job before, when I was 14 years old, I saved most of my money. I lifeguarded. I think I saved like $5,000 during the summer. Oh, and again, no one said to me, oh, let's open a bank account or let's do this with your money. What I used to do is I'd cash my checks, put the cash in a Tupperware container in my bottom drawer. So, then I had one of my sisters. She, I would say, is a spender. Definitely spends, wants. And then I have another sister who didn't work as hard as I did, and maybe didn't even, let's just say, she had like a difference. She was the baby. And so basically she got a lot of money for doing not too much. It is what it is. And so then, that was plentiful, but she didn't do as much working as I did. So even though you were up in the same family, doesn't even mean you're going to have the same values or the same money beliefs as your sisters or your brothers or your family members. Because we've talked about this a lot, and I have people say, well, my sister does this, and even though I do that, yep, that's basically how it goes. There are some signs of an unhealthy relationship with money. And to be quite honest, there are several people in the business world who've got to get a grip on their money, what they think about money, so they can move forward in their business because they don't have a healthy relationship with it. And some of the unhealthy relationships are like financial anxiety and stress. The constant worry about money can lead to anxiety and stress. Impulsive spending and debt. Making impulsive purchases and accumulating debt can be signs of an unhealthy relationship with money. And of course, the fear of missing out, FOMO, the fear of missing out on purchases or experiences due to financial limitations, also can lead to impulsive spending and debt. So there are some, unhealthy signs you need to look at. But I will tell you, if you can get your mind wrapped around becoming or getting a healthy relationship, you can really transform your life, your business. And I've seen many, many people do that. And it's a kind of wild to watch, actually. You watch somebody kind of, maybe if they're spending too much, impulse shopping, impulsive buying, and they really sit down and get their, figure it out, get budgeting under control, know what they can spend on silly things like that. It really can transform a life. And one of the things that is really a big thing for money people is the lack of poor planning, not having a budget, not having a financial plan. And therefore, then they just make poor financial decisions over their finances. So here's some healthy relationship signs with money. A financial literacy understanding, having a really good basic financial concepts, creating a budget you can manage your income as well as your expenses, saving and investing, prioritizing your savings and investing so you're building your financial future. Debt management, taking steps to manage and reduce debt. And again, not all debt is bad debt. It depends where you are with your healthy money habits. And your financial goals and objectives, having a very, very crystal clear financial goals, working towards them and achieving them, and having even a timeline involved in that. Improving your relationship with money, you really are going to need to do a few different things. You're going to need to really gain your financial literacy and really understand and educate yourself about your personal finances, budgeting, saving, and investing. And maybe going and getting help, seeing somebody who does this for a living to help you put you on the right path, identifying and addressing underlying beliefs and emotions. They joke about shop therapy is a good thing for people. Well, yes and no. Again, everything in moderation, but reflect on your childhood experiences and how they might influence your relationship with money, addressing and really identifying any underlying beliefs or emotions. And again, always have a financial goal for your personal life. And once you have that for your personal life and really have that, you can definitely must have that in your business. And again, one big thing, if you're not sure if you've got it all together, seek a professional. You don't have to hire somebody long term, very short term, maybe just to set you up and then you check in with them monthly or quarterly, and really practice mindful spending. Be aware of your spending habits and conscious decision making. People go to the mall or go to the store and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I love that. And the next thing they're walking out of it, really do not have great money don't have a great money relationship, And again, if you are struggling, definitely seek professional help. A financial advisor and or therapist. It can transform your life. There's this one thing I have done with my clients, many of them, just to get an understanding of their money relationships and where they stand with that. And I've even done it myself. It is by Garrett Hope, and it's the money relationship quiz. And it really gets you to see how comfortable you are with your relationship with money and how much you really know about your spending on a month. And it's only a 25-minute or a 25 question survey. And you can take it, and I've done it, and you send in the results and they'll give you back feedback just to see where you are. And again, here's the thing. If you're not going to do it honestly, then don't bother doing it at all. I know a few people who've taken it, and I know them personally. And when they showed me the results, I'm like, who the hell was taking this? Because it surely wasn't you. So again, really dig deep. This is nobody's information but your own, and it's just to make you a much, much better person individually. Like all relationships in life, your relationship with your money isn't easy or perfect, but with an ongoing effort and commitment, you can strengthen your bond so you can improve your financial security, you can reach money goals, and build a much stronger future. And again, I can't say this enough. I encourage everybody listening to at least take a quiz, check in where you are. What can you do better? I truly believe there's always room for improvement. But there are some ways to build a healthy relationship with money. For instance, plan something special each month. Like, first, you want to prioritize the relationship. Adopt some following practice and help you create and maintain a stable and steady, healthy relationship with money. For instance, you can plan something special each month. If money is a tool used to meet your needs and achieve your goals, not rewarding yourself, that's not good. You always maybe you pick something that you want to do, or you want to have a special little splurge, go out to eat, buy something. Do that every month, so you could say, once I hit this goal, this is the reward for it. And people always want to reward themselves for doing a great job, and it makes you look forward to it. It also makes you stop and think, hey, I've come this far, I've done a great job. Another one is a good attitude matters. I have people even who work for me now, or even some of my clients who are running their own business, they don't have very positive mindsets about money. But you have to have a positive money mindset, the right attitudes to help you strengthen your relationship. Remember, show gratitude for the job you have, for the income you're making. Be grateful that you can buy stuff, that you can make you or your family happy, that you're making your employees happy. Always, maybe perhaps be proud of boosting your savings. And a positive mindset empowers your relationship. And it's the little things, I know when there's been times where I'm like, okay, here's one for me. I come to work every day. I don't leave for lunch. I don't go out to lunch. I don't order food. I always bring my lunch. And I have people who work for me that every day will go out to lunch, or they'll walk in with their Starbucks coffee and some kind of treat. And, then they come to me and they're complaining about money. I don't have enough money to pay my bills. And I kind of point out to them, like, your choices are obviously what's putting you in that position. And I'll sometimes say, for instance, I don't go out for lunch. I don't buy my lunch every day. To me, that is a waste of money. I have a home and I have food. I can bring my lunch. It just takes a few minutes for meal prep, and that's it. So look at every little thing. Maybe you don't go to Starbucks 7 days a week. Maybe you just do it one day a week as a, reward for not going to rest and really enjoy it. So maybe there's some little things that you could give up or do differently. Mistakes are a learning lesson. Like, for instance, abusing your credit cards. I have helped more people get out of debt, and people who have more debt than they earn, obviously, is very common. But then they think they're going to go out and buy something new because there's zero interest, or they don't have to pay it back for 2 years. It's still debt. So, when you do stuff like that, keep stuff in the past, move forward, and don't keep making the same mistakes. Work towards those mistakes that got you there and don't do them anymore. There's no point in regretting decisions from the past. You have to be kind to yourself, but remember, you and your money are allowed to have some financial hiccups in the past, but just make better decisions moving forward. Admit when you're wrong. Some people can't admit when they're wrong, and even when it comes to financial matters. Don't be in denial that you didn't have anything to do with you getting in debt. That is surely a way that you're going to be in denial that you have a poor relationship with money. Be very, very honest about your financial situation. I can't tell me how many times I am with somebody and we're talking about their situation while admitting no wrongdoing, which take out. And it's not, I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to admit to me or anybody else, but you definitely need to admit to yourself, what went wrong, what was the wrongdoing that happened, so you can really get out of your financial struggles and find financial stability. So ditch the excuses and look at your relationship through true transparency. Sometimes you just might need to call a timeout. You need some space from your financial planning and thinking about money, being overly critical in a relationship with a partner, and nitpicking every purchase, or constantly worrying about and reaching a financial goal potentially can sometimes do more harm than good, especially if you are in a relationship, business partners, or anything of that nature. When there's two of you, don't point the finger. Don't even go down that road. You're already down that road. Again, my suggestion was seek a financial planner so you can work on the problem together and find a solution that makes both of you happy, so you can move strive forward. The goal would be to monitor your finances without obsessing over every little detail. Another thing, block out the noise. Be cautious. External factors and bad influences can sabotage your relationship. Do you have spendy friends? Meaning, do you have friends that just go out to dinner, go out and eat lavishly, go out and drink a lot and just spend money where you can't or shouldn't? And they're always trying to pressure you to take a trip, do this. You don't want your friends to be bragging about the big purchase. And truly, if they are true friends, they won't brag about it, but you will be excited for them. Do your family members have an opinion on your finances? I'm sure some of my family members know and see that I live a really great life. They also see that I work really, really hard. Do I think there's some jealousy? Probably. But am I always as excited for them and anything they've accomplished? Absolutely. So put out that little noise in the background. Do you, and be the best version of you. And that goes a long ways. But one other thing is, to reserve your healthy relationships with money and family, business partners, so-called friends. If you have the extra, don't lend it out to families. Don't lend it out to friends. It's the fastest, quickest way to destroy that relationship. And if you ever do lend out money to a friend, you should definitely assume you will never see it ever again. The other thing is comparisons it's toxic. When you start comparing yourself to other people, to other couples, families, businesses, that is a trap and a bad rabbit hole to go down. Just because you lead a lifestyle or maybe make purchases, or you see somebody else doing something like that, it could be deceiving. Maybe it is somebody shouldn't be doing that and is living outside their means. That is a perfect thing that you see happen all the time. As the deception, it can have a negative impact on your own relationship because you see somebody thinking, oh, wow, they bought this, they can do this. And then you get into, well, that's not fair. So again, my advice is work really hard, save really hard. And one of my goals is to leave a legacy for my family, my girls. But I never, ever look at somebody who's doing better than me and begrudge them. And there are many times I try to lift up as many people and help them as much as possible so they can, lead a better life. I mean, that's truly why I wrote my book, and part of this podcast and everything else I've done is to help people become better business people, better at financials, better all the way around in business so they can lead a better life. So yes, and surround yourself. Who is in your circle? Who stays close to you? Who are your true peers, family, friends? Really look at your relationship with them. And, there are a lot of people I've actually suggested, maybe you should seek out some professional counseling. And I don't mean like a financial advisor because there's that and those are phenomenal and great. But I'm also talking about somebody that can help you with money and your thoughts and your behaviors. There's tons of books, there's lots of social media accounts, there's people that can help you get out of debt, talk to you about refinancing, investing. There are professionals, that is what they do. So if something is not working and you're unsure what to do, there is tons of outside sources to help you. Like all types of relationships, your relationship with money will evolve. You got to think about it when you each time you increase your income, when you start a family, when you make large purchases, like a house, there's retirement, life changes, and so will your finances. So as your relation continues to grow and shift, keep in mind that there was 10 tips I gave you that can help you build and sustain a healthy relationship with money. So my ask from me to you is, where do you stand? What is holding you back? And how can you get your head in a really happy, healthy, positive mindset so you can start looking forward and you can change your life? When you change your financial life, personal and in business, you will see things start to open up for you that you never thought before. So I definitely recommend really sitting down and putting in some time, thought, and really trying to come up with a game plan for you. Definitely take the quizzes. There's several on the internet and see where you stand. And again, the more that you understand your relationship with money, the more you know what to do with money, the more you have financial help as far as what avenues, what are your goals, the more you can do. Don't get yourself stuck in a rut just because you have negative thoughts about money and you can't get out of it. So I really hope that was helpful. I hope there was some key things for you to learn. I don't think that there is any perfect relationship, whether a business partner, a marriage, siblings of any sorts, families. I always think you can be doing a little more or trying a little harder to keep all those moving forward. And I truly believe you're put on this earth to continuously doing better, being better, and in all aspects. So really, there's tons of resources out there. See where you stand, see where you are, and see what you can do better. If you ever have any questions or concerns, my personal email is kpudetti, Pudetti. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I look forward to talking with you again. Have an amazing day.